Still on quadratic identities. We have two quadratic expressions. The first one and the second one. In mathematics, you have to be attentive up to the end of the lesson. Okay? So be attentive up to the end of the lesson. Listen to everything that I'm going to say. Then you can ask question afterwards. Okay? Here we are in quadratic identities. And today I am going to tell you something very important. Maybe you have not heard from someone. What I am going to teach you today, most probably you have not heard from someone about quadratic identities. I am comparing this quadratic expression, these two, this one and this one. And I am going to tell you that which one do we use quadratic identity to expand. Not all of them we use quadratic identity to expand. Some of them we don't use quadratic identity to expand. So this is very important for students, because sometimes you use quadratic identity to expand and you are not supposed to use quadratic identity. One of these two quadratic expressions, you will not use quadratic identity that I showed you last time. I gave you 3 quadratic identities that you are supposed to use either to expand or factorize. Okay? The opposite of expand is factorize. Let me repeat again. The opposite of expand is factorize. Between the two, one of them you are not going to use quadratic identities. So I want to show you how to identify which of the expression to use quadratic identity. Let me repeat again. By the end of the lesson, I am going to help you identify which quadratic expression to use quadratic identities. Sometimes you don't need to use quadratic identity to expand. So this one will help you as a student. You are able to identify this one I'm going to use quadratic identity, this one I'm not going to use quadratic identity, I will use the wrong method. So stay with me up to the end of the lesson, because sometimes you are going to try to use quadratic identity and it is not supposed to use quadratic identity. That is a mistake most students make. And the only way you can understand this is to be attentive up to the end of the lesson. Fasten your seatbelt, be attentive, okay? Because there are quadratic expressions that you are not supposed to use quadratic identity to expand or factorize. And this is how you are going to identify. This is how you identify which one do you use quadratic identity, which one do you use to expand using the wrong method. Stay with me up to the end of the lesson. Now we have two quadratic expressions. The first one, number 1, and number 2. We have two quadratic expressions. I keep repeating because most of the students don't get it the first time. At least when you repeat at minimum 3 times, most students will get it. So what am I saying? We have two quadratic expressions. I want to show you which one do we use quadratic identity. I gave you 3 quadratic identities, and I told you this quadratic identity, they are in your mathematical table. Okay? It is a shortcut you use to expand or factorize. You use this one. When you use quadratic identity, you use rest time when expanding or factorizing. It is like a shortcut. Okay? So let me help you identify which one we use quadratic identity and which one we don't use quadratic identity. so that when you are given a question, you are able to identify if this question you are supposed to use quadratic identity or not. Because if you try to use quadratic identity and you are not supposed to use quadratic identity, you will not get the answer. You will waste your time. You will just waste your energy for nothing. So it's good for you to identify which quadratic expression to use, quadratic identity, and which one not to use quadratic identity. Okay? So we have the first one, x plus 2 and x plus 1. The second one, we have x plus 2 times x plus 2. Which one do we use quadratic identity and which quadratic identity? Okay? When you look at these two expressions, when using quadratic identity, they must look the same. They must be the same, especially when you are looking for looking for squares. Okay? Okay. So we have x plus 2, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 2. So the one that we are going to use quadratic identity is this one, number 2. Number 1, we are not going to use quadratic identity because x plus 2 is different from x plus 1. Okay? They are different. X plus 2 is different from x plus 1. So this one we are going to use the long method. This one we are going to use quadratic identity. Let's start with this one that we are not using quadratic identity. X plus 1. We love the other side. X plus 1. This one we are not going to use quadratic identity. This one we are not going to use quadratic identity. Okay, let me write here. Let me lab first, then I'm going to do even for that one that we are using quadratic identity. So this one, don't. This one, x plus 2, x plus 1 times x plus 1 does not qualify to use quadratic identities. X plus 2 times x plus 1 does not qualify to use quadratic identity. This quadratic expression does not qualify to use quadratic identity. So don't waste your energy. To try to use the quadratic identity to expand here. Don't waste your energy. This one does not qualify to use quadratic identity. We are going to use the long method. We are going to use the long method to expand. So don't try to use quadratic identity because it will not give you an answer. Okay? So here we have x plus 2 times x plus 1. So we use the wrong method to expand. We are told to expand the quadratic expression. So x plus 1 times x, we use this one as one we use to times, plus 2x plus 1. So when you expand, you take this one as the one in it will be the one in brackets, x plus 1 times this x times 2. We get, what do we get? We get x times x is x squared plus x times 1 is x, plus 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 2. So what's the answer? X squared, okay, we don't have the likes, so it's x squared, plus x plus 2x is 3x, plus 2. That is the answer. Okay, we use this method. The second, that one in bracket x plus 1 is the one we are going to use. You times with the what is inside here with x, then you times with 2. Okay, I hope you can see. So when you are given such a quadratic expression that does not look the same, x plus 2 and x plus 1, it is not the same. If it was x plus 2 and x plus 2, we could use directly, we use quadratic identity. Now we are going to use this wrong method to expand. I hope you have understood up to that point. Okay, let's now use quadratic identity. Let me give you a quadratic expression, the one that was in number 2, that uses quadratic identity to expand. You are told to expand a quadratic expression. This one we are going to use quadratic identity. And I have given you the two. I have compared the two and you have seen the difference. You have seen the difference between the first one and the second one. And now I know and I hope, I'm sure that you are able to, to tell which quadratic expression should you use quadratic and identity, and which one you are going to use wrong method to expand. So this one we are going to use quadratic identity. I gave you 3 quadratic identity. My pen is refusing to write. Don't know if you can see well. This is x plus 2 and x plus 2. X plus 2 times x plus 2. You are told to expand the quadratic expression. This one we are going to use quadratic identity because it is the same. This is x plus 2 times x plus 2. We are going to use this quadratic identity. We are going to use this quadratic identity. My pen has refused to write. Let me use the red pen. Okay. Let me use the red pen because my pen has refused to write. Okay. And we have to learn. We have to use each and everything I have so that I can make you students learn. You have to learn. Mathematics is very simple. Okay. It's enjoyable subject if you know you are good to go if you know a concept. Okay, so we have said this one we are going to use quadratic identity to expand. So x plus 2 times x plus 2, we have 3 quadratic identity. We are going to use this one, a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. This is the quadratic identity we are going to use, okay, according to the quadratic expression we have been given. Listen to the first video and you understand those quadratic identities, okay. So we have this quadratic identity. I also told you that this quadratic identity, it is in your mathematical table. So you are supposed to know how to use it and even when to use it and where to use it. This one you are going to use quadratic identity. This is a shortcut. You do it very fast and you expand, okay? So we have this equation, x plus 2 times x plus 2. So this one is x plus 2 squared, okay? The way we can see it here, okay? So it's the same as x plus 2 times x plus 2, okay? So x plus 2 squared. So we assume here, let me write well, x plus 2 squared. X plus 2 times x plus 2 is the same as x plus 2 squared. So we can use this identity. So up here, we assume this is A and this is B. We assume assume this is A, this is B. So the first one is A squared. It is x squared plus 2 times A times B. So it is 2 times x times 2 plus, okay, B squared. B is 2 squared. So we get x squared plus 4x plus 4. I hope you can see there. 2 times x times 2. Okay? It is 2 times x times 2. Okay? The multiplication signs sometimes looks like x. Okay? So don't be confused there. So we have said this is, we assume this is A, this is B. Using the quadratic identity like this one, A squared, it is x squared. 2ab is 2 times x times 2. B squared, it is 2 squared. So you get x squared plus 4x plus 4. So you see, when you are using quadratic identity to expand, it is faster than the wrong method to expand. So I hope you have understood. My main goal was to make sure you can be able to identify which quadratic expression do I use quadratic identity and which one do I not use quadratic identity. When you are given a question in your exam, my main goal was to help you identify. You are able to identify, this one I'm going to use quadratic identity. This one I'm not going to use quadratic identity. I will use the wrong method to expand. That was my main goal. And I hope I have achieved it. Listen to the video as many times as possible so that you can understand. And in case you need help, clarification of what we have covered, you can reach out. Reach out earlier before the exam. Don't wait to fail. Reach out early as possible, because mathematics is very easy if you know just a concept. Okay? My work, I do research from many books. Okay? So just reach out earlier. If you need high quality notes, you can reach out. I can give you high quality notes that can help you understand a topic that you know you struggle with in mathematics. Okay? Okay.